You're making $75,000 a year. You've got about $8,000 in your savings account. You contribute to your 401k, not the max, but a decent amount, maybe 6%. You're doing everything you're supposed to do, right? And yet, when you sit down and run the numbers, you realize that at your current pace, you'll be 67 years old before you hit that first $1 million. And here's the thing that really keeps you up at night. You're not even sure if $1 million will mean anything by then. Well, I've got some news for you. Everything you think you know about building wealth in 2026, it's about to change. My name is Cashford, and I spend way too much time thinking about how regular people can actually build real wealth in today's economy. If you're someone who's tired of the same recycled financial advice, who's wondering why you're doing everything right but still not getting ahead, and who's ready to understand what's actually going to separate the wealthy from the broke over the next decade, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because what I'm about to share with you isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. This is the actual mathematical and psychological framework that's going to determine who builds wealth over the next 10 years and who gets left behind. Look, here's what most people don't realize. The formula for building wealth in 2026 is fundamentally different than it was even 5 years ago. And I'm not just talking about inflation. I'm talking about a complete restructuring of how money actually flows in the economy. Let me give you a stat that should blow your mind. According to a 2024 analysis by McKinsey, 78% of millionaires created in the last 3 years built their wealth through either owning equity in businesses or strategic real estate holdings that generated active cash flow. Not retirement accounts, not index funds, not living below their means and investing the difference. Now, before you click off thinking I'm about to tell you to quit your job and start a business, hold on. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the relationship between work, income, and wealth has been severed. And if you don't understand this, you're going to spend the next decade working harder and harder while getting further and further behind. Here's the thing that drives me crazy. Everyone talks about compound interest like it's this magical solution. Just invest $500 a month in an index fund for 30 years. And yes, mathematically, that works. If you invest $500 a month at an average 10% return for 30 years, you'll have about $1.1 million. Congratulations, you're a millionaire at 60. But let's actually run the real numbers. First, that 10% return, that's before inflation. Real inflation, not the CPI number you're fed, but the actual increase in the cost of the life you want to live. Housing, healthcare, education. Over the last 5 years, those costs have increased by an average of 7.2% annually. So your real return isn't 10%, it's closer to 2.8%. Second, let's talk about that $500 a month. If you're making $75,000 a year, after taxes, you're taking home about $56,000. After rent or mortgage, car payment, insurance, groceries, and utilities, most people have maybe $800 to $1,200 left. And I'm supposed to tell you to invest $500 of that and just live on the rest for 30 years, never taking a vacation, never having an emergency, never helping your kids? This is where the psychology and the math collide. You might be thinking, okay, Cashford, so what's the alternative? I can't just pull money out of thin air. And that's exactly the trap. Traditional financial advice has conditioned us to think in terms of subtraction. Spend less, cut back, reduce your lifestyle. But the people actually building wealth in 2026 understand that wealth is built through addition, not subtraction. Let me tell you about my friend Sarah. 3 years ago, she was making $68,000 as a marketing manager, saving about $400 a month, doing everything right. She ran the numbers and realized she'd have maybe $750,000 by retirement after 35 years. So here's what she did instead. She spent 6 months building a marketing consulting offer on the side. Not a full business, just a productized service she could deliver on weekends. She charged $3,000 per client for a specific marketing audit and strategy package. In her first year, she landed 4 clients. That's $12,000. But here's where the math gets crazy. She used $8,000 of it to pay someone to handle delivery so she could focus on sales. Then she landed 8 clients in year 2, then 15 in year 3. Today, 3 years later, Sarah's side business generates $127,000 a year in profit. She still has her day job, but now she has 3 income streams: her salary, her business profit, and the investments she's making with that profit. At her old pace, she would have saved maybe $15,000 total over 3 years. By adding instead of subtracting, she added $240,000 to her net worth in the same period. Here's the actual formula for building wealth in 2026. Asymmetric opportunities times retained equity times time times leverage equals exponential wealth. Asymmetric opportunities means finding ways to get paid where your upside is way higher than your downside. When you have a salary, your upside and downside are the same. An asymmetric opportunity is something like spending 100 hours building a digital product that either makes you $0 or $50,000. Your downside is 100 hours. Your upside is unlimited. Retained equity means you own something: business, real estate, investments, something that increases in value. You can make $200,000 a year, but if you don't own anything, you're not building wealth. Time still matters, but it's compressed now. What took 30 years in 1990 can be built in 7 years today with the internet, AI, automation, and global markets. Leverage means using other people's time, money, or attention. Employees, loans, social media, partnerships. Every millionaire uses leverage. There are only 3 real paths to $1 million in 2026. Path 1, the traditional path: $500 a month in index funds. It works, but slowly. Start at 30, get $1 million at 60, worth maybe $600,000 in today's dollars. Safe, but slow. Path 2, the equity path. Build or buy something you have equity in. Start a business, buy rentals, become a partner. If you build or buy something that generates $50,000 a year in profit and has a 3x revenue multiple, you've created $150,000 in net worth. Do that a few times, and you're at $1 million. Path 3, the hybrid path. Keep your job, build equity on the side. Less risk than Path 2, way faster than Path 1. This is what I recommend for most people. Now let's talk about the skills that actually matter. Most people think you need to be a genius entrepreneur. Wrong. Here's what you really need. 1. The ability to identify what people already want to buy and deliver it better or more specifically. 2. The discipline to do boring work consistently. Wealth is built in months 18 through 36, not months 1 through 6. 3. The emotional intelligence to handle rejection and uncertainty. This is the real separator. And the best part? All of these are learnable. Here's your action plan. Step 1. Audit your financial trajectory. Run your current savings rate 30 years forward. If you don't like the number, change something. Step 2. Identify your asymmetric opportunity. A skill, an offer, an audience, an asset, anything with a 10x upside. Step 3. Start building equity somewhere, anywhere. The amount doesn't matter. The psychology matters. Step 4. Compress time with leverage. Use tools, systems, outsourcing, automation. Step 5. Commit to the long game, but with milestones. Aggressive 90-day goals, realistic 1-year goals, inspiring 5-year goals. Here's the brutal truth. The system isn't designed to make you wealthy. It's designed to make you stable. Stability is not wealth. Wealth comes from understanding the system well enough to operate outside it while still benefiting from it. And in 2026, the gap between those who understand this and those who don't is going to explode, not because of conspiracies, but because wealth-building tools have never been more accessible, and most people are still following advice from 1995. You can spend the next decade doing what you're told, maxing out your 401k, keeping your head down, hoping it works out.
You'll probably be fine. You'll retire modestly at 60. Or you can spend the next decade building something, taking risks, learning skills, acquiring assets, building equity. It'll be uncomfortable. You'll fail sometimes. But the people who take this path don't just build wealth, they build options, freedom, security on their terms. I don't know your situation, your income, expenses, obligations, but I do know this. If you're watching this, you're already different. You already question the default path. You want more. You're willing to learn. And that mindset is the first step to building wealth in 2026. So here's my challenge. Pick one thing from this video and implement it this week. Not next month, this week. Run your numbers. Identify one asymmetric opportunity. Start researching how to build equity. Just do one thing. Because the 2026 millionaire formula isn't about money. It's about becoming the kind of person who builds wealth. And that transformation starts today.
If this shifted your thinking, smash that like button and subscribe because I'm going to keep making content that actually tells you the truth about money. Comment below which path you're taking, the traditional, the equity, or the hybrid path. I read every comment and respond to as many as I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.